it's a very challenging business environment, and I think the feedback that we consistently get from SMEs is that we're seeing rising competition, we're seeing increased rental costs, a shortage of labour, and a particular drain on labour talent. So from that perspective, we're seeing some short-term macroeconomic conditions. It's the second year in a row of deflation, which hasn't happened prior to 2009 when we had the GFC. So there certainly is challenging business conditions in place now.
Yeah, I agree with Nigel. I think volatility in the market is huge at this point in time. There's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, people didn't know that Brexit would have happened, presidential elections in the US are happening. So there's a lot of economic uncertainty in the ground. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months, 1 year. And the challenge is, in terms of from consumers, for instance, for them to decide, do they save, do they spend, do they want to travel more, do they want to travel less? So that's something that we see. So from that sort of environment, the also challenge that we find is talent. Talent in Asia Pacific, understanding, trying to innovate, trying to create e-commerce companies, trying to develop that geographically is something that we find very hard to get and be able to adapt and innovate. So that's something that we constantly look out for, and we constantly have to make find people who are good in all sorts of different fields to be able to find good talents. I think Singapore is great in the sense that it's focusing a lot on entrepreneurship. The universities now have spent a lot of time and effort to try to create people who are more innovative, who look at trying to build businesses. So the culture of entrepreneurship is actually developed at that stage. I mean, for me, for instance, my son now uses Facebook to sell items to people on social communities. So that's something which I find that with mobile phones, with computers, with internet, that's something which people are able to do much more. So creating a talent I see locally is getting to be better, but you find that places like US, Silicon Valley, where you have a captured talent pool which actually has already focused a lot on that, they are actually moving much faster. China has actually moved even faster, leaps and bounds in terms of what things are being innovated for. So you'll find that there are a lot of things that China is doing now which maybe US and Europe haven't done. So we obviously want to be able to find talent which can do that as we progress and innovate. Fintech is something that you see more and more. Companies are looking at Fintech as a way where they can do payments easier. They can make foreign exchange, cross-border payments much faster and much more cheaper. So things like that, you'll find that digital companies, SME companies, are actually evolving much faster than existing banks or existing payment companies. So existing banks or companies will actually acquire these companies or try to develop these in-house. So these are the ways that actually they can sort of upskill themselves much faster.
The payment space is evolving very quickly, along with the rest of the commercial economy. We're seeing now the advance of what we call contactless payments or mobile telephone payments. So the likes of Apple Pay and Samsung Pay are in now, where people are transacting via a new piece of technology rather than a piece of plastic. What we're seeing also is we're seeing digital wallets, such as PayPal, which has been a traditional wallet, but many similar sort of platforms also exist, which is creating opportunities to shop online and shop safely online. So from that perspective, we are seeing that evolution of the payment technology. We're seeing that same technology now translate into corporate payments as well, or B2B payments, where people are now integrating with either accounts payable systems or integrating some of their payment choices through to the general ledger to actually automate and make the payment process more efficient. And I think, as David alluded to, in terms of foreign currency or cross-border payments, are now becoming much more simplified, much more flexible, and more importantly, what they're doing is they're actually complementing some of the best practices that corporate have had and bring that skill set now down to the SMEs and making that readily available for the SMEs to transact the same way. Much better for productivity, much better in terms of driving growth. Yeah, very much. We're following the market very quickly, and we were first in market with Apple Pay. We're adapting to the new technology in terms of payment trends very quickly. We have worked with a lot of our customers to actually facilitate some of this new technology within their business to make them more efficient. We're seeing our foreign exchange products being integrated very easily into the businesses. And more importantly, what they're seeing now is they're using our products to actually manage data and to actually capture some of the data to actually allow their business to get greater insights and to control and manage their expenses through their business.
So it has become like a complement. So instead of just payment, you also provide data?
Exactly. We're an enabler of that data and that technology. So to give you an example, on American Express statements, our statements are typically tax compliant. But not only that, we actually provide itinerary information or transaction information. So I might show not just the flight, but also show where you travelled from and to and what the ticket number is. And why the benefit is there is it allows it to integrate straight into their accounts payable systems and general ledger to improve the way they're actually managing their finance within their business. We've seen some very practical examples now where organisations are actually, instead of spreading the spend across 3 or 4 suppliers, actually with the power of information and seeing what they're spending, consolidating the spend to 2 suppliers and negotiating better terms through those suppliers.